Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the McGonagall Boxing Podcast. Let's get straight down to it, shall we? So, obviously it's been a busy week of boxing as always, but the big talking point is Canelo Billy Joe Saunders is finally on. They've scheduled it for either May 1st or May 8th. I thought originally it might be May 1st, just before Cinco de Mayo. But then they might actually just extend it for like the week after, just like a weekend of activities for Cinco de Mayo. But so I got a feeling it might be May 8th. But it's going to happen in the States, isn't it? Because obviously England, the UK, is still a mess with COVID. So that's instantly advantage Canelo, because obviously his Mexican support in the States is huge. But although as long as travel restrictions are limited, I think Billy Joe will get a good turnout for his following, for sure, certainly in a big fight like that. But Canelo's going to have the majority of the crowd and the majority of the judges, as always. But I just think Billy Joe needs to dominate, like in the vein of like he did against Lemieux. A one-sided masterclass. That's the only way you're going to get a decision against Canelo. I don't see Billy Joe knocking out Canelo. Canelo could knock Billy Joe out. That's a more than realistic opportunity to do that. Although I think Billy Joe is best, that won't happen. I think he'll avoid the array of punches that Canelo brings. But you have to favour Canelo. I think his activity, lives in the gym, his dedication, he's getting better, he's getting bigger. He's the naturally super middleweight. I'm still yet to believe that Billy Joe is a natural super middle. And I'm slightly concerned that he loses some of his speed, his ridiculous speed, nimble foot, when he moves up to super middle. When he's at middleweight, he's lightning. He's almost untouchable. And had this fight been at middleweight, my money would have been on Billy Joe. The fact it's at super middle, I've got to go with Canelo. I think Billy Joe is going to be half a second slower, and that's all you need when you're Canelo. I think one of them punches is going to get through, and I think, and the more I think about it, I think Canelo could really stop Billy Joe. I think he could really bludgeon him in late rounds. It just needs one big punch, doesn't it? One big body shot, one timed overhand right like he did for Khan, and it is all she wrote. So that's a real possibility. Although, like I say, Billy Joe at his best can easily navigate to a 12-round decision loss, but I don't know. I don't know if Billy Joe's as active, as sharp, or as good as he was back in 2017. He hasn't looked great, has he? Recently, Martin Murray fight was a bit of a sparring session, as I've said. Murray was so far past it. I don't know. I got to go Canelo, unfortunately. I think either a stoppage from 8 to 10, or I think it'll be a unanimous points win. I'd love to see Billy Joe do it. I'm not saying it's impossible for him, but I give him about a 20% chance. I think he just needs to completely dominate Canelo to get the points win, and he needs to be Lemieux style Billy Joe. He needs to be fleet-footed, sharp, and I'm not sure if he's had enough ring time for that. I just hope right now, I'm not seeing much on his Instagram or social media, which is maybe a good or bad sign. They might say he's focused. He needs to be living in that gym right now. He needs to be sparring, dedicated, living the life, eating well, training well, and he needs to start now. It's no good trying to style it in an 8-week camp. You're not going to beat Canelo over 8 weeks. It's got to be happening over and over and over again. If he does that, he gives himself the best chance. He really does. But yeah, for me, it's Canelo. And I don't know what else to say about that, really. I just think, 2021, Canelo's getting better. Moving on, it's obviously been an eventful week with the heavyweight division. The fact that, obviously, Stavern has fought, and he's fought Jennings. Now, I didn't really know a lot about Jennings, like a lot of people didn't. I was like, okay, who is this guy? How good is he? But it's a case of he got the job done, didn't he? He beat Stavern. I think 11 KO stoppage, but obviously Taverne's well past it now. He's been knocked out several times. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. How sorry, not Jennings, Trevor Bryan, how good he is. Looking at his record, I believe he's. I'll just double check that now. I think he's unbeaten, isn't he? But he's no younger. I don't think he's not like in his prime fighting years. He's 31. I think he's unbeaten. I'm gonna double check that. Yeah, he's 21-0. So, and obviously he's beat PJ Flores, which is obviously a blown up cruiserweight. He lost to Tony Bellew. So, and that's really it. Really, he hasn't got anyone on his record. Somehow he's negated into a WBA boundary position, and he's beaten Taverne. So he's 21-0, and with 15 KO. So obviously he's a big lump, but he doesn't look very muscular or in shape, does he? So I don't think he's going to worry any of the elite fighters. But that's a title maybe Wilder needs to target next. Obviously with Joshua and Fury being tied up, and that's certainly where Joe Joyce should be heading. Although he looks like big strong rumours today that he's going to be taking on Usyk, and that the winner of that will get the mandatory shot, because I don't think the WBA are going to vacate Joshua. So it's very interesting, isn't it? Interesting times in that WBO position. But if I was Joyce, I would bypass that and I'd go straight to WBA. I mean, Usyk is on the who needs him category, isn't he? So, I don't know. But I don't think, like I say, Joshua's going to be worried too much about the whole WBO situation. He's got that mega fight, that dream fight with Fury now, and I think that will be his main focus. But I mean, it's good news that WBO doesn't strip him. It's fantastic news for the whole world, because then it really is the ultimate fight, isn't it, for all the belts. But yeah, so that's the heavyweight division sewn up. I mean, Don King though charging like £20 for that pay-per-view when it was like abs are like two embarrassing undercard fights and a rerun, I think, like of Jerry Cooney, Larry Holmes. It was hilarious. It wasn't even live fights. It was like recaps of old fights, and he charged £20 for it. It was an absolute disgrace. But it probably got about like a £1,000 buyer rate, I should imagine. But anyway, it is what it is. We got a new champion of the world, Trevor Bryan, and yeah, he sets himself up for some big fights now, doesn't he? But finally, just want to touch upon last night. Caleb Plant defeated Caleb Truex. Pretty easy one-sided. Caleb Truex is well past his sell-by date. I don't think he's had any notable wins since the shock win against DeGale. Was it 4 years ago? So it was always going to be one-sided. I'm surprised Plant didn't stop him though, to be honest with you. But that's the thing with Plant. He doesn't carry a lot of power. He's got good slick boxing skills. He's not afraid to have a tear-up, but he doesn't seem to get people out there, which is going to be a problem when you're fighting someone like Canelo, because no one's going to outbox Canelo unless you're Billy Joe. And the fact he can't stop anyone is going to be a big problem. So it's a case of job done for Caleb Plant, but not hugely impressive. So it is what it is. He's an IBF champion. He's game. He's confident in himself, but he's not going to worry the big boys, unfortunately, of the division. Certainly not Canelo. And I don't think he beats Billy Joe either. I think Billy Joe's a better boxer than him as well. But well done, Caleb Plant. He retains. He goes to 21-0. And obviously he sets himself up for some super fights. So, yeah, it's exciting times in the boxing world. We're recovering from, obviously, COVID. And it was worry for, the first couple of months of COVID last year. But it looks like we're bouncing back. Some big fights. I just hope Billy Joe's training hard and training well for that big fight that's coming his way. Because make no mistake, Canelo's going to deal with Yildirim next month, and then it's on.